Evening. How the bloody hell are you? Christ, you've grown. Let's see, we've got in tonight. We've got, according to this, we've got 5 people in. I think there's more than 5. Let's have a quick wee squint. We've got Edinburgh Retro PC. Good evening, Mr. George. How are you, Squire? Colin Gregory. Hello, cheeky Scotsman. You can't be talking about me, obviously, Colin. We've got regular Dale Boy. Steve Retro. Evening, Steve, or good morning. The last time I looked, I think Glenrothes or Perth is in the same time scale as us, so it is actually good evening. Mr. Ferguson, thank God Friday nights are back to normal. And Dell saying questions, LOL, and LFC Gamer and Vlogs. Keith, see, I always think I'm crap with first names. Yeah, listen, thanks for joining me tonight. I just thought, why don't I do one of these things? If you watched the last couple of videos that I've done, I did mention I was going to be taking a little sort of a sabbatical. Yeah, taking a little break. Just I've got some shit to kind of sort out, but hopefully that's kind of moving in the right direction. So I thought, why not? You know, it's Friday. Always nice to kind of catch up with friends. So anyway, cheers. How long this is going to be, says the bishop to the nun. How long this waffle is going to be, basically all depends on if there's any questions. I'm looking I'm looking at the questions from last. Oh, when was it? I didn't do a waffle last week, and then the one before that I think was a live one. So I'm looking at questions from the 21st, 22nd of October, whatever it is. I've got a few questions here. So anyway, listen, how are you? I hope you've had a decent week. Weather-wise, you can't be Scottish and not talk about the weather. It's actually got quite a bit milder. I was out with the. I was going to say I was out with the dogs tonight. I wasn't out with the dogs. I was actually doing it at the gym. And yeah, it's quite mild. I mean, it's wet, it's windy. We only seem to get 2 seasons in Scotland: sunny or wet and windy, or sometimes wet and windy with a bit of cold flung in. But yeah, it's kind of been quite mild. Though I've always noticed in the last, I don't know, 20 odd years, the weather pattern seems to have kind of completely gone into sync. In other words, we tend to get quite decent weather in October, November, and then you find even December's not too bad. It's when you get to January, February, and March, that's when we seem to get the really, really cold weather. So I always think what we need to do is we need to say, right, you know what? Let's get to March, and then we'll make evening Matt, and then we'll get to March, and then we'll say, right, you know what? Fuck it. This is actually December. So let's push everything, push the year back by 3 months, and then we'll kind of get our season sorted out. It means that when we've got decent weather in October, it's going to be in July when it should be. And conversely, when we get shit weather, it's not going to be in March, it's going to be in December. So it makes a lot of sense, honestly. Yeah, Matt's saying there, or one season where I work windy all the time. Yes. Right, anyway, is there any questions? Steve's asking, do I like waffles on a Friday? I don't think, you know what, when I think of waffles, I always think of the ones that you see Americans eating with maple syrup and that. Can you even get waffles like that in the UK? I don't know. I'm really not too sure. The waffles that I used to get as a kid were like the potato ones, and they were a bit yucky. So yeah, I'd probably quite like. I do like pancakes, I have to say. Pancakes and maple syrup. Although, have you actually ever seen? Talking that, have you ever seen the bloody price of real maple syrup? Holy shit! You need a second bloody mortgage to buy the stuff. Yeah, that's a controversial one, Kevin. Rangers, Celtic, or neither? I'm going to say neither because I really don't do. I don't do football. I'm not interested. Talking of which, I was delighted to hear that Scotland actually they won. They beat, was it Moldova? I think it was tonight. They beat them 2-0. Am I right in thinking that we've actually qualified for the next World Cup? I'm sure that's the case. If so, hooray! It's funny, as a kid, when I was a kid growing up back in the 70s, I always, I mean, 1978 World Cup Argentina. We had a football manager called Alistair McLeod, and he got the whole nation, the whole Scottish nation behind football, behind the Scottish team, and he firmly got us all believing that we were going to win the World Cup. And as a kid, I believed that. I thought, yeah, we are going to win the World Cup. And then it was only later on. I mean, people talk about Argentina 1978 has been a bloody awful World Cup for Scotland. Here's the thing. Yeah, we got pumped by Peru. We drew with Iran. And we beat Holland. Now, Holland were the eventual... what's that on my phone? Yeah, they were the eventual finalists. So, you know, I don't think we did that badly. And, of course, Archie Gemmill scored the greatest goal ever. Ever. Never mind your bloody Lionel Messi or Bobby Styles. Archie Gemmill's where it is. Trust me in that. If you don't know, Google it. Best goal ever. And of course, like a typical Scotsman, when he scored, he gives it that get it right up you. Yeah. Oh, right. Steve saying they've made it to the playoffs, so all right, that's never a good sign. So in other words, we've just got to beat. Is it a single game then, Steve? We've got to win. So that's the thing when Scotland play good teams. Well, yeah, when they play good teams, they always do well. When they play shit teams, they always get pumped. So here's hoping the play that here's hoping the playoffs is going to be against a decent team. I don't know, but yeah, to answer your question, Celtic or Rangers, neither. When I was at school, I wasn't a football fan, but obviously coming from Scotland, there's the rivalry between Celtic and Rangers is it's very much alive. I don't think it's quite as bad as it was. I mean, I remember back in the 80s, there was stories in the news of like people getting attacked because they had a certain type of strip on. I don't think we've really got that so much now. It's quite funny. There's a Kevin Bridges. I'm not a fan of Kevin Bridges. He's a comedian, Scottish comedian, but he did one thing he was talking about. I thought was brilliant. He was talking about now. I'm going to swear here. You get people who are not very pleasant. They're called cunts. If there's any ladies in tonight, I do apologise because I know it's a particularly horrible word. But yeah, if you're a horrible person, you're called a cunt. Now, there's a certain English bloke by the name of Danny Dyer. He is basically the cunt's cunt. He's a horrible arsehole. I don't like the guy. And he did one of these. He's one of these guys. He's just an actor. That's all he is. And he had this series where he would like get together with like Britain's toughest men, toughest criminals, and all this. And he was he was outside what do you call it? Outside Ibrox, which is Glasgow Rangers ground. And he did this video where he says, "Here I am outside Ibrox." He says, "This is one of the most ancient, bitter rivalries of all time of football. Celtic hate Glasgow Rangers. Rangers hate Celtic." He says, "You can absolutely feel the tension with an knife. It's absolutely terrifying." And then in the background, there's a wee guy with a hot pie and a cubby bovril. He's like, "On the Rangers!" It sounds better when Kevin Bridges done it, but yeah, that was classic. So yeah, I'm not a fan of any of these, to be perfectly honest with you. Anyway, let's have a wee look and see if there's any. Yeah, Danny Dyer, he's a cunt. He's just a twat. Seriously, a hard man. Yeah, on EastEnders. Neil Purdy saying, "Moan the Scotland." There's any questions? Right, I've got Dale in tonight. He's going to be putting in. I don't know if I've got any questions at all. So listen, what to do is, whilst you think of something for me to talk about, I'm going to just have a wee look at the waffle from a few weeks ago and see what we've got. Right, let's have a quick look. 8-bit Steve, great waffle about that stream. Yeah, right, I'll not talk about that. It was a rather unfortunate thing that happened a few weeks ago, but we're all over that. About your collection, if you're not using them at all, then what I would do is sell them and buy a mister, which means you can still play games on those systems, and it's all in on space, no messing about. Have I done that question? I can't remember. Doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, I'm still. I do want to sell a lot of my stuff. I mean, I have got quite a sizable collection. But I've got so much stuff, and I do want to start kind of getting rid of things. And I might think about a mister. It seems to be the way forwards. Country Roadist, I was in that stream last Sunday. The guy was being a knobhead, to be perfectly honest. Better off without him. Yeah, I had a person who was very, very critical of how I handled a certain thing a couple of weeks ago, and it's the second time the guy has flounced off the channel, so whatever. I really don't care. I do this for me, and if people don't like the way I do it, then they can piss off. That's quite simply, that's the way it works. I can't remember. I was talking, yeah, somebody was talking about, I don't know. This is the problem with answering questions from 3 weeks ago. We have so many senses. The classic five are sight, hearing, touch, smell, and taste. But I can name more like hunger, thirst, balance, spatial awareness. Are they? I don't think they're senses. Hunger, is that a sense? I don't think so. Is there a question? Right, okay. Waffle question. Have you bought anything from outside the UK recently and have had to wait an age for it to arrive? I've not bought anything from abroad for quite a long time. I'm trying to think. I used to buy the occasional bit of sort of gaming tat from, what's it called? Was it Alien Express? I think it was. See, some decent YouTubers, they get sent stuff for free. I can categorically put my hand on my heart and say I have never ever received anything for free. Anything I review or talk about, I've had to bloody buy for myself. So if anybody's got any old systems they want to rehouse, I'm your man. Yeah. Have I bought anything outside the? I've not bought anything for a long time. I can't even remember the last thing I bought. That's the thing. I mean, yeah, you do get, I mean, some of the stuff that you can get from Japan, you get it so much cheaper. You know, honestly, you can. It's actually hard to figure out how they can even make a profit on these things. And, I mean, I bought a, what was it? I bought a little handheld. It was, again, I've mentioned this before. It was a couple of years ago. I thought to myself, I want to see what the cheapest little gaming handheld I can possibly buy would cost me. And I got this little, it's up there somewhere. I can't be arsed getting it. It was a little kind of pocket Game Boy thing, and it obviously came from China. And I think it had something like, well, 250 games. Chances are you've probably got like 10 real games. And this thing was, I think it was £6, and that was including delivery. How the hell they can make these things for that price? But yeah, nah. I mean, I've not bought anything. Here's the thing. The reason I don't like buying expensive stuff off the net is because of the customs. It's fine if you've got a friend who can like send something over to you. They can mark it down, whatever. I always remember a couple of years ago, or maybe 3-4 years ago, my daughter, she had a friend in America, and they decided to exchange. Christmas gifts, and my daughter got sent. It was like a mirror with her name in it, embossed in it, and I can't remember how it came about, but basically I had to pay, I think it was £36 customs to get this thing in. And when I opened it up, like I says, it was a mirror. And I contacted our friend's dad. I said, just to let you know, the thing's arrived. I says, look, in future, if you're going to send anything, evening Trevor, how are you, buddy? I says, if you're going to send anything, can you please use Amazon? Buy it. If you're buying it in America, buy it, order it from Amazon UK. That way I'm going to get it from UK and avoid taxes. So I think the mirror itself, I think he told me it cost £12, and I paid something like 36 quid in customs. So yeah, buying from abroad is not something that I'm overly happy with, or I don't do, I don't really do at all, just because of that. It's too much hit or miss. So yeah, let's see. Retro Steve Retro, Robotron or Berserk. You know what? I'll be honest. I mean, I love a game of Berserk, and I got to a point. I mean, I was playing it a few years ago, 3-4 years ago. I was playing it all the time, and I do like Berserk, but I've kind of gone off it slightly. I've not been playing it as much as I used to. But I still play Berserk. I still play Robotron. In fact, what I've done is, I don't know, it doesn't matter. I was going to share a photograph. I'm not going to bother. Yeah, as Dell saying, topics or questions, get them in now. Yeah, if there's anything you want to hear me talking about, then just stick the question down below. My very, very first MAME cab, which one of my mates built for me, it's been sitting on a little unit and it's not quite high enough. And because of that, I mean, I'm not the tallest in the world. I'm quite 5'7", I think I am. This thing is slightly low, and because of that, I've just I've not used it as much as I would like. But I was at that place where you get fantastic meatballs, IKEA, and I bought a little unit, and it's now at perfect height. If anything, it's slightly, possibly too high, but it's great. It means I've now got a decent MAME cab that's at good height. Not a decent MAME cab. I've got three MAME cabinets. But yeah, I've got three MAME cabinets. I've got my twin stick one, which is obviously for stuff like Robotron. I've got my vertical machine, which is obviously for vertical shmups, and then I've got my Defender one, which is equally as wonderful. So yeah, let's have a quick wee look. So yeah, Robotron or Berserk, Steve? I would probably say Robotron, definitely. Now Steve's saying there he sold all your systems. Why is that, Steve? Any particular reason? Now I know, I've known Steve for quite a long time. Steve, incidentally, has started up. Steve's he's like Status Quo. He's made more comebacks to YouTube than Status Quo or Frank Sinatra. But he's currently got a YouTube channel again. Now he's done a couple of videos. He does a podcast, which apparently I have been invited to take part on, which I'm quite looking forward to. So Steve's got a new YouTube channel. I've watched a couple of videos that he's done, and I think I enjoyed them. I really enjoyed them. So I don't know if you can put links. Can you put a link in a comment? If you can, Steve, what I'll do is I'll stick a wee link to Steve's channel down below, because it's always nice to be nice. If you like old blokes, especially old Scottish blokes talking pish, then you might well if you're watching this, then obviously you do. Yeah, you'll probably enjoy that. And the fact that Steve's now got a beard, that's always a bonus point as well. But if you want to stick your URL down below, Steve, you wire in, son, not a problem. All right, hang on, Collins. Let me have a wee look at this. If you have Game Pass, try the Artful Escape. Stunning graphics and music. Game Pass. What is Game Pass, Colin? Is that not one of these? Is that one of these services where you have like for your Xbox Series X or something? Is it? Well, I don't have Game Pass. Artful Escape. Yeah, I really don't know modern games at all. God, I sound like an old fart. Oh, that's probably because I am. Yeah, I don't keep up to date with any new games. Game Pass. What is Game Pass, Colin? If you can let me know what it is. Also, the great Carol Weathers from Empire Strikes Back. Now, see, when people talk about Carol Weathers, I would just think Apollo Creed rather than Star Wars. We seen Star Wars. We seen Empire Strikes Back. Carol Weathers, was he? I know he was in one of the. He was in. Was it the latest or the last Star Wars film? Was he in Empire Strikes Back? Anyway, yeah, let me know, Colin. Game Pass. I don't actually know what it is. Matt's saying there, are you not humped with tax now the rules have changed when buying stuff outside UK? I really don't know, Matt. if anybody knows if that's the case, please please stick your comments down, or not your comments, but please put it down below. It's always interesting. I don't know. Like I said, I've not bought anything for a while because I've been stung a couple of times with customs, and it's just not worth it. Yeah, Steve's saying there he can't get anywhere in Berserk. Berserk is one of these. It's a game that on paper it looks simple, it looks easy, and it is far from easy. I mean, my best score, I think, yeah, I did. It was actually at Play Glasgow a couple of years ago. It was just under 21,000, which doesn't sound a lot, but if you've never played the game, go and try it. And tell me that 20,000 isn't a good score. It is really, really difficult. Just while I remember, Steve did. He did what do you call it? He was down at Blackpool a couple of weeks ago, Play Blackpool, and it was interesting to hear Steve say that it's going to be probably his last Play Blackpool event, and he said he just felt it got stale. And I've been like that for quite a few years. And I've been to, I don't know how many I've been to. I must have been to probably 3 or 4 anyway, I think. And yeah, it's the same cabinets. Now, don't get me wrong. If you've never been, then you would have an absolute ball. You know, it's great being able to play these machines. But it's the same machines virtually year in, year out. The stalls are just overpriced. I mean, we all know that retro gaming stuff, the price is kind of going through the roof, and that's why I kind of want to sell, because I basically want to get back as much as I possibly can, which would be stupid to not try and do that. So yeah, the stalls are all really expensive. You've got your home computers and your consoles and that kind of stuff. I've got them all. I've got them all here. You know, why would I want to drive down to Blackpool just for that? And then one of the things that really niggles me is they have the panel talks. Now, I mean, I was lucky enough. I'm saying lucky enough, like I got paid or something. I got absolutely hee haw. I did a couple of panel talks 2 years ago, 3 years ago. No, it wasn't on last year, so it would be 2019. Yeah, I did a couple of panel talks. Who did I have? I had Sean Southern, Andrew Morris from Magnetic Fields, 2 good lads, and I also had Andy Hewson. Now, I basically had to invite these guys along. I had to do all the questions. I did the panel talk, and I didn't even get a thank you from the organizer, which to me, considering this guy makes a lot of money out of these, I just thought it was utterly disgusting that the guy could not even thank the people that were working. I was essentially there working. I mean, I got a free ticket to the show on both days. I had to pay for my travel. I had to pay for my accommodation. I didn't get a penny for doing it. Now, that's not my gripe, but yeah, I mean, these were 2, not just because it was me that done it, but you know, there's been a lot of interesting panel talks over the years. The ones this year, was it Antstream, I think it was, and Evercade. I actually had to kind of, I mean, I had a rough idea what Antstream was. And to be fair, I did actually try Antstream. I installed it on my phone. Imagine, the easiest way to describe Antstream is Netflix for video games. You can basically stream a game. You're not actually playing it on the machine. You're purely streaming it. So they were talking to, they had one person, this girl who was doing I think she did all the panel talks. She was talking to the guys from Antstream. Now, Personally, it's not something that I'm interested in. There was one, the Evercade. Now, I actually had to Google it to find out what Evercade was. Apparently, I think it's a console where you get cartridges for or something. And there was some other, a guy and a girl doing some live show, and I just thought, really, that is it? It's supposed to be a classic video game show. You know, it's meant to be about the classic days of the 8 bits and 16 bits, and I just thought it was really poor. And then to top it off, they had a live YouTubers panel. Now, you're probably sitting here thinking, yeah, it's just sour grapes on your part. Um, you can think that if you want, it's not that. Here's the thing, they roll out the same YouTubers year in, year out. Now, a couple of them, well, I would say one of them, I've got a lot of time. I'm not going to say who. I'm not going to go naming names. I've got one. There is one of the YouTubers that I think she's taking part every year. Now, I've got a lot of time for her because I watch her channel. She does do some really good documentaries. She's a really nice person as well. But the other people, and I'm not having a dig at them, I'm not saying that they don't have good channels. The channels that I watch, not at all. They're all commercial channels, but it's the same channels over and over and over again. Now, there are more than just five retro-based YouTube channels out there. You know, I'm not saying get me on it. I'm not saying that at all. But there's lots of people, like, you know, there's myself, there's Nova Bug, there's loads of people, smaller channels that don't have, you know, big subscriber numbers. But I'm quite sure that people like that have still got interesting things to say. I mean, I listen to some of these videos or watch videos, whatever it is, and I hear them talking about things. I don't know. They're talking about maybe early computer games. They'll maybe say like, I don't know. Does anybody remember? I'm trying to think. Zombie in the Spectrum. And they're like, nope, no, I've never heard of that. I'm thinking, I know it. I played it. You know, I mean, people, older people like ourselves, Steve's retro. You know, we've got a fantastic history in this hobby. And you know, why don't these places like the play events? Why don't they tap into that and give people something fresh? You know what I mean? There's so many other good channels out there, but no, no, no. They rigidly stick to the same four or five channels over and over and over again, and it just becomes bloody dull. It really, really does. So yeah, to kind of agree with Steve. Whilst I wasn't at Blackpool this year, I've got no interest in going back. The only reason that I tend to go to these things is just to meet friends. I think going forwards, I think I'm going to, it'll be probably NERG, which is Northeast Retro Gaming, I think it stands for. I was there a couple of years ago, went down with a few mates. That is a good show. It's a lot nearer for me as well. But I think if I want to get my retro gaming fix, it's going to be Arcade Club. So yeah, me and a few mates were going down to Arcade Club on the 27th of November. So really looking forward to that. That should be good fun. Anyway, I've just noticed a little cheeky donation, which is very kind. I don't know who that's from. Let's have a quick wee look. Evening, Stephen. Sorry, Stephen. I'm not. Listen, Stephen. Please stop giving me donations. This is a Friday waffle. I don't play any games. It's purely a Friday waffle where I just talk about bloody nonsense. Yeah, listen, Stephen, thank you very much. But listen, Stephen, you have been more than generous to me over the last sort of month or so. So please don't keep giving me money. You know, I mean that sincerely, but it's very, very kind. But I won't be playing any games tonight, Stephen. This is the Friday waffle. This is just me talking shite. But listen, thank you very, very much. That is very kind. Wait a wee minute. I need to try and get. That's what I don't like about this StreamYard thing. You're kind of you've got to kind of move up and down all the time. Steve Retro Steve or Steve Retro. I can still remember you playing Robotron in my old meme cab. Yeah, that was the first I bought. What was it? I bought. I bought an Atari, not an Atari. I bought an Amiga 500 of Steve. I think he lived in Glenrothes actually, and I went up to his house and I bought the Amiga 500, and Steve had a. It was a very very early kind of MAME cab, and I think that was the very first time I actually played Robotron using twin sticks. If you've never played Robotron with twin sticks, you don't know what you're missing. Trust me, it's an absolute epic game. Right, LFC Gamer and Vlogs. Martin Galway or Jonathan Dunn? I'm not. Can anybody tell me what music Jonathan Dunn done? 1,000,000,000% Martin Galway. I mean, there are some epic Sid tunes out there. I mean, Christ, I've done a whole series called the Sid Show, based on good Sid tunes. If I was to try and pick my favourite Sid artist, it would be very, 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 very difficult to decide between Martin Galway or Rob Hubbard. It really would. You know, if I was to pick my top 10 Sid tunes, chances are, I'm trying to think. Chances are probably 9 or 10 of them are going to be by either Martin Galway or Rob Hubbard. Without knowing Jonathan Dunn, I mean, like I said, I've heard of him. I can't actually recall any of the music that he's actually done. No pun intended. It would have to be Martin Galway. Yeah, Martin. He's just was he one of the first Sid musicians to kind of use, what do you call it, to use like sampled sound. I mean, yeah, we can. I mean, if you listen to Arkanoid on the C64, wow, that is just an incredible bit of music. Whizball. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to share my screen and I'm going to play a couple of. Why not? We should never ever need to make an excuse to play some Sid music. Right, just hang on 2 ticks. Let me, before I share the screen, I shall go in here and just find my Sid tunes. In fact, what I could maybe do is play some Jonathan Dunn and just see if I can see if I know any of them. Let's have a wee look. Now, hopefully, this is going to play ball because, as we know, last weekend or whenever it was when I did that live stream with Dale, I was trying to play some tunes and you guys couldn't actually hear it. Jonathan Dunn, let's have a look. Jonathan Dunn, right. Right, he has done a fair old number. According to this, there's 66. Ah, right. So he did. Right. So he's a bit later. I'd probably moved on to the Atari ST by this point. Tell you what, just for some shits and giggles, give me 2 ticks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to narrow that down there, and I'm going to copy that across here. Copy here, and what I'll do is I'll jump into Martin Galway. And copy here. Yeah, I never need an excuse to play Sid tunes, right? Copy them there. Right, now hopefully you can, hopefully you're going to be able to hear this. I don't know if I have to share the screen. Yeah, I probably do. I'm going to move myself over there, and then I'm going to put like so. Right, I need you guys to tell me if you can hear this okay. Right. I'm going to try and play some. I need you guys to give me a wee thumbs up and say, yep, I can hear this. Oh, Stephen, please. Listen, Stephen, please, honestly, I really, your generosity is just mind blowing. But please, there's absolutely no need to keep doing what you're doing. But I'm not going to be playing any games tonight, Stephen. This is a Friday waffle. You know, I will hopefully be along on Sunday, and I will play a bit of China Minor. But please, honestly, Stephen, please stop making these donations. You make me feel so bad. But this is a Friday waffle. I don't play. I don't play any. What do you call it? Any games on a Friday waffle. It's just me. It's just me talking pish. But you know, thank you very much, Stephen. But honestly, please stop giving me money. I shouldn't normally ask for that because I do appreciate any little donations. But you know, you've done more than plenty, Stephen. So honestly, you know, you don't need to make a donation to ask me to play a game. But it's going to have to be in the Sunday stream. So please, Stephen, no more. But it is very, very much appreciated. Right, anyway, listen, I'm going to play some Sid music if I can find wherever I put that thing again. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to play the Ocean Loader, and this is the original by Martin Galway. Take it away, Martin. Right, hopefully you guys can you guys hear this? Let me know if you can hear it, please. Good stuff. I'm just going to shut up for a second and drink my tea. Evening, Bob. How are you, mate? You looking forward to Arcade Club in a couple of weeks' time? Yeah. Whatever, Dale. You're joking. You're only getting it through the mic. Steve and I will hopefully be along 7 o'clock on Sunday, and I will play Manic Minor. I'll play China Minor. Can you hear that music properly? Because I've got my headphone, obviously. I don't, Steve. I use a thing called StreamYard. Yep, see you on Sunday, Stephen. And again, thank you very much. And honestly, mate, there's no need to give me anything else. You have paid me plenty to play China Minor. But anyway, that's original by Martin Galway. What we want to do for comparison is play. So Martin Galway did, that was Ocean 1. This is Ocean Loader 2. We're not going to listen to it right through. I think that's a given, Steve. Yeah, we will indeed. I won't be doing a live. Well, you know what? I might do a live video. We'll see. We'll see. I'm sure when we congregate in the hotel at night, we'll need to get a video of some sort. We couldn't not do it. Panther's albums of awesomeness. That is two words you never hear together. Panther and awesome. Only kidding, mate. Love you, really. Anyway, right. That was Ocean Loader 1 and Ocean Loader 2. Right. They were both done by Martin Galway. This is Ocean Loader 5. This is by Jonathan Dunn. Nah, definitely prefer the original. It's not even the same tune, is it? Yeah, I'm not. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, but yeah, like I said, I'm not really familiar with most of Jonathan Dunn's stuff. Arkanoid Revenge of Doe. Let's try this one. Never actually played that. Bart and the Space Mutants Basket Master. Right, that's just annoying. I'm trying to see Daley Thomas's Olympic Challenge. No, see, I had moved away from the C64 by that point. New Zealand Story. Yeah, there's not really. I can't actually say. I wouldn't have known any of these tunes were by Jonathan Dunn. But you know what? I'm going to play a couple of my favourite Martin Galway tracks, and I'm going to listen to them all the way through. So hopefully you don't mind. And if you do, tough, because it's my Friday waffle, and I'll do what the hell I want. Right? How do you pick? It's like asking you to pick your favourite child, asking me to pick my favourite Martin Galway. Oh God, there's so many. Right, I'm going to kick off with this one. Anyway, right, that was Arkanoid. Yeah, I mean, it's not one of my favourite tunes. I mean, technically, I think it's wonderful. It's got. I think Martin Galway was a sort of pioneer of doing sort of sampling. You know, when you consider how little memory that was actually in, I don't know, 3-4K. I mean, that one there as well. That's 10K. Right, this is a very, very early Sid tune. One of my favourites, just because of the nostalgia, and apparently it is based on, I can't remember, somebody's going to tell me it's based on a real tune, and it's Daley Thompson's Decathlon. And it's impossible to listen to that without seeing the little lines as it draws the loading screen. Evening, David. Is that right, Steve? So it's not based on a real tune, it's actually based on an arcade game music. Right, okay. Yeah, listening to that now, technically it's actually pretty shit. But it was just absolutely awesome. Getting the loading music, getting the title screen. Fantastic. So that was Daley Thompson's Decathlon. I'm going to play two more tunes. Let me have a wee look. Yeah, it's going to be this one. Chariots of Fire is one of my favourite films. Love it. I've seen it so many times, and my dad was a massive fan of the film, and my dad hated computers. He had no interest in computers. But I remember letting him. I called him into my bedroom one night and says, "Dad, listen to that," and my dad was impressed with that. I just think Martin Galway absolutely nailed the tune. I think what made the Sid chip what it is there was no two the same. It's just wonderful. Absolutely epic. And I'm going to finish with probably my favourite Martin Galway track, and it's this one. And I'm going to play this right to the very end. Yeah, epic. Listen, I'm going to share one more thing with you. I have showed this in the past. This was just sticking with Wizball. This was a piece of animation which one of my friends did. Now he's a graphic artist, and he now works on AAA Hollywood blockbusters. He's a guy called Mark Hennessy Barrett, aka Bog. I think Retro Steve will know him. We go way back. This was a piece of animation that he did many moons ago. I'm going to let you see it. I have showed it on my channel in the past. Right, a wee minute. I need to move that over there, and then I need to go like so. Right, enjoy this. This is beautiful. Feel the raid. There you go. Yeah, that never gets boring. Absolutely fantastic. Yes, how are we doing for time? Bloody hell, that's an hour and 2 minutes, and I've hardly even started. Right, listen, I'm not going to be talking for much longer because I don't want to keep you guys up. It's a Friday night, and you should be doing something else instead of listening to a bloody boring old fart talking shite. Anyway, is there any other questions? Sorry, Ox is saying what happened to the volume. That's bizarre. I don't know. I didn't do anything. No idea. So let me just jump across. Let's have a wee look. I did have my questions from last week. I'll finish them, I think, and then I'll probably call it a night. Hang on, where did I go? 22nd. But yeah, I think what do you call it? Yeah, that was just sort of it was a nice kind of tribute to the sort of the glory days of 8-bit. You know, tipping its hat to how like creativity and all that kind of stuff has kind of gone. And I think there's nothing. I think that's there's nothing more apparent now. You know, creativity. I mean, what have we? Modern systems. I mean, games. There's no. It's just the same. It's every kind of new game. Maybe I'm not qualified to talk because I don't have a modern console. But it's the same stuff over and over again. Whether it's Call of Duty, whether it's whatever it is, it's the same game, slightly different graphics. And that's why I cannot be bothered with modern systems. Give me a game of Berserk any day of the week. Right, hang on a second. But yeah, I mean, Mark did that. I don't know, did it have a date in it? It must have been early 2000s, and yeah, he's had his name on quite a few credits. I'm sure he worked on one of the Marvel films, the Avenger films. I'm sure he has, but he's a good lad. Good lad. He's done very, very well for himself. I'm just trying to find. I've bloody well closed down my. I closed down my other YouTube things. I could see the questions. The birth of modern game console is games from the C64 like. Tell me, Stephen, did you actually like China Miner, or is it only because you like seeing me suffer? I think it's the latter somehow. Right, wait a wee minute. But absolutely sub. Oh, be quiet. Right. I'm just trying to find. Has there been any questions, Dale? Let me just jump across. Dale apparently has been sending me questions in Messenger, so let's see if I can open up Messenger. Right, there we go. Right, okay, right. Matt Renton is asking if you could reinvent, update a game for new gen technology, what would it be and why? I've never really. I don't think there's ever really been a game that I would say would benefit from better graphics, because this is the thing. Old games, 8-bit games, even 16-bit games, maybe not some of the later 16-bit games, but certainly the early games, the graphics were pants. The sound, until they eventually got to grips with the SID chip, the sound was usually pants as well. I mean, think of any Spectrum game, the sound's going to be rubbish. What made games fun was because of the playability. You know, you filled in the gaps. That little square that you were controlling was indeed an SAS soldier. These little V's that were coming down the screen are indeed killer bats. So you filled in the gaps. So a game that was good in the 8-bit was good because of the playability, and I don't think really giving it better graphics is going to make it any better. I mean, I suppose I don't know if Dell's answered my question here, but you've just mentioned you're talking about hover bother and metagalactic llamas. I'm just thinking, Attack of the Mutant Camels is a wonderful, wonderful game, and it's got some of the bloody worst, graphics out there. Playing a super duper fast 120 frames per second version in the PlayStation 4 would be nice. One game, and I have said this before, which I would like to see. Now, I don't know if there's ever been any remakes. If there is, let me know. Way of the Exploding Fist is, to my mind, the finest beat 'em up on probably 8 and 16-bit, certainly 8-bit machines. It's the best. It's even better than International Karate. I know that technically International Karate is supposedly better. You've got 3 players, and people would all say International Karate every step of the way. But I always prefer Way of the Exploding Fist. It would be interesting to see a modern remake of that, but it would have to be the graphics, not the graphics as such. It would have to be authentic to the original, but just with much more detailed graphics, if that makes any sense. Has there ever been a remake of Way of the Exploding Fist? And I don't mean the bloody god awful sequel, Fist 2. But yeah, I would like to see Way of the Exploding Fist, but with really nice graphics. That would be nice. I think, is that the only questions there, Dale? I think it is. Well, there's a couple of questions just come in, which is wonderful. Ox is asking, what was the first ever computer game you bought yourself? I've not got it. It's in a cupboard. The mighty Crazy Kong by Interceptor Software. Yeah, that was the very first game. Well, that's technically not true. The very first game I bought was the only game I had for my Texas, and it was called Core, and it was written in BASIC. But the very first game I ever bought for my C64, I bought my C64 in credit, hire purchase, and I bought Crazy Kong and Frogger, both by Interceptor Software. Crazy Kong is bloody awful. I do feature it in my Arcade Perfect My Arse intro. It is it's bloody horrendous. Yeah, LFC Gamer saying beating older games felt more satisfying due to their challenge. That's the thing about modern games. You would never you would never boast to somebody that you'd completed a game in the PlayStation 4. Why is that? You don't get any bragging rights. You don't say, I just beat Resident Evil 5 or I completed Call of Duty 19. Who gives a shit? Nobody cares. You tell somebody you've put 2 million in Robotron and you're an instant hero. So yeah, that's not the reason I like old games. I like the simplicity. These old games, it's like it's gaming at its purest form. It's just you against the machine. You know, there's nothing else. Again, because the graphics are simple, it had to be all about the gameplay. And if you get, I mean, I still, when I'm playing my arcade cabinets, if I get a high score, I'm like elated. And trust me, if I was to ever know that's ever going to happen, if I was to get a million in Defender, you guys would know all about it and you would be impressed. And that is the difference. You would be impressed. But if I told you I'd completed the latest Call of Duty, nobody would give a shit. Steven's asking, what retro game from the past, sorry, your first addicted game? So what was the sort of one of the first addictive games from the past? It would probably have to be, well, Way of the no, in fact, you know what? The very first game that I played and played and played and played and played was international soccer on the C64. It was way ahead of its time as far as I was concerned. I mean, the Spectrum it had match day, but compared to international soccer, it pissed all over match day. Yeah, it was blocky looking graphics, but at least it looked like proper football players. I'm not knocking international. I'm not knocking international soccer. I'm not knocking match day, but international soccer on the C64 was an absolute cracking game. It really, really was, and I played that way too much. I've got a diary from 1983, and honestly, virtually every day I would stay up till midnight or later and just play it and play it and play it and play it. But yeah, awesome game, especially if you could master the running with the ball bouncing on your head. That's the thing about modern games. I honestly don't think that there's any challenge to modern games. I'm not saying that they're easy, but there's no. I would imagine there's no satisfaction because the problem in modern games now is they're effectively like interactive films. And when you play a modern game, you get so far, you die, you reload. You get to a new bit, you die, you reload. So there's no. When you die, you don't go right back to the start. Back in the day, you play Manic Miner, you get to level 10, you die, you go right back to the bloody start. You know, there was absolutely it never took any prisoners at all. Games are so much harder now. They had to be harder because the games are only maybe 10 levels. You imagine if Manic Miner was easy and then you completed it within 10 minutes, you would be pissed off. So they had to make games difficult. I'm not saying that games now aren't good. They're just not for me. Give me a game of Berserk or Terra Cresta any day of the week over any modern game. Ox is saying his first game he bought was Spectral Panic by Hewson. I bought it in an Oxford Street, London computer shop in 1983 whilst on a trip just before I got my specky. Fantastic. Mad moments. Two sons slag him when he plays retro games. Well, trust me, my daughter still. We were playing. What were we playing recently? On my main cab, I've got a SNES emulator, and we enjoy playing. What do you call it? Super Bomberman. That's a great game. What I was going to say, does anybody just kind of go back to modern games? Can anybody give me a modern Steam game that's not too expensive that you can play co-op One of the games that me and my daughter used to play, we still do play it, and it's a brilliant game. I don't know why. In fact, I've actually heard they are bringing out a version for the PlayStation 5, which is going to snooker me because I don't actually own one. Is Left 4 Dead and Left 4 Dead 2. In my opinion, it's one of or two of the finest online games you can get. Brilliant. You can play co-op. You can have 4 people. Take care, Kevin. Cheers, buddy. Keith. Sorry, Keith. Take care, man. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, can anybody give me any decent games on Steam that you can play co-op? You have to be able to play co-op. My daughter's got her computer through that way, and I've got my computer here. So if anybody can give me a game, I don't mean give me it, but give me a recommendation for a game, please, please, please let me know, because my daughter and I have decided that every Thursday is going to be computer game night. We're going to play stuff. Good night, Stephen. Cheers, buddy. Yeah, mad moments go. Old games were hand drawn, true creativity. Example, Bitmap Brothers. I was talking about the Bitmap Brothers. Their games were some of the best looking games, in my opinion, on the 16-bit. I mean, the graphics just blew you away. But I've always felt that the playability, I don't know, it's hard to it's hard to really try and summarize why I'm not a massive fan of the Bitmap Brother games. Xenon was all right. It wasn't bad. It was mind blowing. Xenon 2, yeah, not so good. It looked nice. It sounded nice, but it was a bit jerky. I wasn't really a fan of the Chaos engine. I don't know. I can't really explain. The Chaos engine looks nice. It plays well. It's got co-op, 2-player action. I don't know. I was never a fan. And one game that on paper, I should love, and I don't, and it's Speedball and Speedball 2. I could just never get to grips with them. Don't know why. No idea why. I should really enjoy them, but I don't. Weird. Yeah, that's what Ox is saying. Back in the day, it was all about the high score tables and arcade machines. I mean, it was all about, like I said, bragging rights, being able to get a high score, and that's a thing that I never really got because I didn't live near arcades at all. So I kind of completely missed. Does Elvis play Tetris? Don't be ridiculous, Ox. I think he's more a Columns fan. Stu Roro, most games are 90%. Sorry, most games, 90% of the game is filler. Traveling somewhere, collecting something. Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Not for me. Not for me at all. I'm glad that I was born when I was born and I got to experience the early days of computers. Nick Sherman saying, yeah, the only impressive gaming going on is glitchless speedrunners. You know what I was watching? That's an interesting point. I was watching, on YouTube, you get all these, video game recommendations or video recommendations, and there's people playing like Mario 64, and they're playing it in they're completing the game in 10 minutes. And I started watching one of them, and it's bloody insane. They're not even playing the game properly. They're just using glitches and all that kind of stuff. And I just thought, what is the point? The whole point of a game is not to kind of try and bypass, levels. The whole point of a game is to enjoy it. But I suppose, you're always going to get people wanting to do stuff like that. But yeah, try watching a Mario 64 speedrun, and it's just bloody insane. They're jumping through gaps and walls and all this kind of stuff. Absolute nonsense. And talking of that, Guinness World Records. Back in the day when I was a kid, I always liked getting the Guinness World Record annual for my Christmas. You know, the fattest person, the tallest man, whatever it was. Now there's a YouTube channel, Guinness World Records, and it's just absolutely fucking nonsense. The stuff that people get world records for, just things like, I don't know, eating bursting balloons with like a pin on your head, or how fast you can eat a tin of spaghetti hoops using a cocktail stick. Just nonsense. Absolute bloody nonsense. I don't get it at all. Bollocks. Anyway, right, Retro Steve. First game I bought was Vectron from the Spectrum in Vic's computer shop in Perth. It cost $9.99 and it was utter shit. Cauldron of Stardust. Alright, so we're talking about movies here. Yeah, that's what Ox is saying. The problem in modern games, first-person shooters have been done to death. There's really no, well, maybe, like I said, maybe I'm not qualified to actually say that because I don't have a modern console, but I just, yeah. That's why I don't have a PlayStation 5, apart from the fact you still can't buy it. What is going on with that? I mean, the PlayStation 5's been out for a year and you still can't bloody buy one. Evening, Brian. Thanks for tuning in, Brian. I don't think I've actually ever seen you in one of the streams, Brian. But thanks for tuning in. Lego games, yeah, we've played Lego games. There must be more than just Left 4 Dead. There must be other games that you can play co-op. Oh yeah, somebody was saying Overcooked. I think I've seen that. Yep, Steve's saying Cuphead. Yeah, again, it's a platform game, isn't it? I mean, Cuphead's nice. It's got a lovely look to it. I'm kind of thinking more about a sort of first-person shooter type thing where you can actually kind of help each other. If anyone can think of anything at all. Ox is saying Bitmap Brothers, mostly fur coat and no knickers. Yeah, that's exactly how I would sum up their games. Cauldron of Stardust, there's a game called Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time. Great multiplayer. It almost begs to be played multiplayer. It's Dead Island, is that? Mad Moments. Is Dead Island a co-op game? Please let me know if you could. That'd be wonderful. Rocket League. Nah, I don't see. That's not a game that Ava's going to play somehow. Ox is saying, yeah, I've got that one. I'm trying to remember I think it's yellow. Yeah, I can remember getting that one. The iconic two fat blokes on tiny motorbikes. Here's the thing, Ox. I don't think they were tiny motorbikes. I think they were just so huge. Yeah, I remember that picture. I think my sister had that actually. Oh, goodness me, bloody hell. I met the shortest man in the world at a carnival in Brooklyn. He's from Nepal. He literally looked like a baby with a grown man's face. That's bizarre. Where was I about? Yeah, I went to America with my mum and dad back in 1975. We stayed with my auntie. And we went to San Francisco. And I don't know what the hell it was, but we went into something, and there was the fattest man in the world was there, and people were taking photographs of him. And I remember we were saying to my dad, "Are you going to take a photo?" And he thought, "No, I'm not doing that." It just felt wrong. Can you imagine being in the Guinness World Records because you're the fattest person? Oh, I don't know. I don't agree with that. Not nice, but yeah. Delboy saying PlayStation 5 production cut back again due to semiconductor shortage. Far Cry 4 and 5 are great in coin op. Is there not? Is there nothing kind of? Is there no like kind of horror type games? Does anybody know of any horror games that you can play co-op? That would be rather good. Towerfall Ascension. Nick, you're talking about a sequel to Left 4 Dead, Back for Blood. I'm right in thinking that's going to be on the PlayStation 5. Yeah, I think is that PlayStation 5. I'm sure I did hear about that actually. But I might need to try that. What was that one? I can't even remember the name of it. That zombie one that somebody mentioned up above. Can't remember. Yeah, Dale, I've got Left 4 Dead. We play them on Steam. Wee Bob saying there he was in game the other day and he did have disc versions of the PlayStation 5. Really? I'm still not in any. I'm in no rush. Dying Light, yeah. Thank you, Mad Moments. I might actually take a wee note of that one. Hopefully, I can get that for not a lot of money. So, anyway, listen, guys. I think that's kind of. I've managed to arc this out for an hour and a half, which is plenty. Oh, is it actually? Is it actually out, Nick? Back for Blood. Is it actually out now as we speak? Brian Senior, I remember an attraction at Burnt Island shows where there was some sort of giant had a freak show kind of thing. Burnt Island, if nobody knows what Burnt Island was, it's a little seaside town in Fife. And yeah, it was they had quite decent. I think they had decent arcades back then. I've got just before I let you go, I've got, and I've mentioned this loads of times, like most of my anecdotes. I've got I've got a Galaxian anecdote. Me and my mates, it must have been 1986, 1985, 1986. We were going to Burnt Island for the day, and we actually passed a Galaxian arcade machine lying at the side of the road. And I remember we just laughed. Um, we just thought, because back then I had no interest in playing Galaxian. Why would you want to? It's only now you think, Christ, if I could go back in time, I would have hired a van and I would have gone and picked it up. But yeah, somebody had just literally discarded a Galaxian machine at the side of the road. Yeah, Cauldron Senior, you're so right about that, Alan. When I saw the world's tallest man, people were crowded around taking pictures. I was going to as well until I saw that he looked miserable. You know the thing about always, I actually feel really sorry for people, really really tall people, like the world's tallest people, because they always end up, even when they're young, they're walking with walking sticks. Obviously, because their back is so, there must be so much weight, they always end up like paralyzed. So yeah, never ever be envious of somebody who's mega tall. I'll stick to being 5'7". Wee Bob, I was tempted, but I thought I hardly play the PlayStation 4 just now, so no need. Anyway, have a great rest of your weekend, and we'll see you a few weeks' time. Absolutely, Bob. Yep, look forward to catching up, buddy. Listen, I'm going to get going, guys. Thanks for the link to Back for Blood, Dale. I'm going to get going. All going well. I will be along on. I'll be along on Sunday. Yep, Sunday, 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock. Yeah. So I shall see you then, guys. So anyway, listen. Have a great. I mean, what have you got? An hour and a half left of your Friday night. Thanks very, very much for tuning in tonight. I hope I have entertained you for a bit. And yeah, until next time, guys, as always, thank you very much for watching. See ya.